Welcome to Relationship Exposed. In today's video, we unravel a story of tension, longing, and the unraveling of years of quiet resentment. The kind that builds slowly behind closed doors, hidden in glances and silence. He didn't even glance back. "Just squeeze in," he said, his voice detached, eyes focused on the road. His Bluetooth headset sat on his ear like a permanent fixture. The car ride was bumpy, and the cool leather seats did little to ease the discomfort of sitting so close to Tyler. I didn't say a word, neither did he, but I could feel his breath against my skin. It was too close. Or maybe uncomfortably comforting. I tried to laugh it off, made a joke about James needing a bigger car. Tyler let out a deep, quiet chuckle, the kind of sound that holds back more than it lets out. That laugh lingered in my mind, unfamiliar in a home where laughter had long been extinct. I shifted slightly to create some space, but the tight car interior had no room for distance. James drove on, unaware or uncaring about the storm brewing in the back seat. Something shifted in me. A long-forgotten awareness stirred. Tyler's hand rested near the door, fingers long, grip careful. He was still. We both were. Like any movement would make the unspoken louder. That moment should have ended there. But it didn't. It planted a seed that would soon grow uncontrollably. That night, back home, James retreated into his office without a word. No goodnight, no glance. Just the usual silence. That's how things had been for a while. He lived in the same house but wasn't really there. Meals were eaten without conversation. Sex was a memory, and communication had turned into lifeless logistics. I told myself this was normal, that marriage fades, that this was what long-term love looks like. But being near Tyler made me feel something. Not lust, not love, just presence, just alive, just seen. It was terrifying and intoxicating. The next morning, I watched him from the kitchen window, shirtless on the porch, drinking coffee. When our eyes met, he didn't look away. And neither did I. That evening, James returned late again. Reeking of scotch and exhaustion, he walked straight past us and collapsed into bed. Tyler offered to help me with dishes. As we stood side by side, the air between us buzzed. Our arms brushed. No flinch, no apology, just quiet understanding. I went to bed early. James was already asleep, snoring. I lay beside him, my mind replaying the car ride, the glances, the silence. All of it louder than anything James had said in weeks. Tyler began to linger more, helping without being asked, starting conversations, remembering details. He noticed when I changed my shampoo, when I reorganized the pantry, when I wore a top I hadn't touched in years, and I noticed that I liked being noticed. I should have set boundaries. I didn't. I welcomed it. I began dressing differently. Not for him, that's what I told myself. Softer fabrics, a spritz of perfume I hadn't worn in ages. Slightly fitted clothes, just enough to remember I was still a woman. Not just a wife, not just a stepmother. Someone. One night, James came home and collapsed on the couch, passed out before midnight. Tyler was in the living room, headphones in, typing away. I handed him a glass of water. He took it, looked into my eyes, and said, "Thanks." That was all. But it made my breath catch. Not because of what he said, but because of how he looked at me. That night, I lay awake thinking of that look. Still not guilt, just confusion. James was distant. Tyler was present. James didn't notice anything. Tyler noticed everything. I told myself Tyler was just kind. I told myself I was imagining things, but I knew I wasn't. One afternoon in the garden, I was pulling weeds when Tyler came to help. Our hands touched in the dirt. Neither of us moved. He looked at me. That look. The one you see before a kiss. He didn't kiss me, but he could have. We both knew it. The guilt began then. Not because of what had happened, but because I didn't want it to stop. I avoided James, claimed headaches, fatigue. I wasn't lying. I was tired. But not in the way he thought. Everything between Tyler and me remained unspoken, hiding in long glances, shared tasks, and the growing closeness and silence. The temptation wasn't in the touch. It was in the waiting, in the almost, in the unsaid. Then came the night James flew out for a weekend conference. The house felt emptier than usual. Not peaceful, just still. I sat at the kitchen table, holding a cup of tea I wasn't drinking. Tyler walked in, damp from a shower, hoodie and sweatpants, and asked if I was okay. "I don't know," I whispered. The most honest thing I'd said in months. He sat down across from me. The silence between us was charged. I told him I was tired of being alone, of pretending. My voice cracked. He didn't interrupt, just listened. Then he reached out, placed his hand on mine. Not suggestive, just steady. My body didn't pull away. He stood, walked around the table, knelt beside me. I looked into his eyes, terrified. Not of him, but of what I wanted to do, and that I wanted to do it. He waited. I didn't stop him. Every kiss was a question. Every touch, an answer I'd kept buried. It wasn't wild, it wasn't lustful. It was slow, careful, restraint unraveling in silence. Afterward, we lay there, neither speaking, neither moving. When he stood up to dress, he didn't say a word. I didn't either. My body felt foreign. My mind was spinning. Not from regret, from knowing. This wasn't an accident. I had walked into it with eyes wide open. That made it worse. In the days that followed, I moved through life like a ghost. James returned, kissed my cheek, spoke about meetings I didn't ask about. I nodded, smiled, pretended. He didn't notice the difference. Or maybe he did, and chose not to ask. Tyler avoided me. Left early. Came home late. No more shared chores. No more long looks. Not rude, just distant. I wanted to ask him what it meant, but I was afraid of the answer. Then one day, he was gone. No note, no goodbye. I told James he must have gone back to campus early. He didn't question it. I sat alone on the porch that evening, watching the street, waiting for something. A car, a text, anything. Nothing came, just silence. Heavy, unforgiving silence. And I sat there with it all. With what I did. What it cost. What it changed. I didn't cry. I didn't panic. I just existed.